Hello everyone, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Eric. We're here to teach you English words in a very easy way. We want to make learning English fun for you. Today, we will explain 5 English words.
The first word is to pack, and the second one is to be confident. Then we'll continue with to be common and to grow up. The final one is, it's not rocket science.
Okay, let's start with the first one, to pack.
To pack.
To pack? What does it mean, Lisa?
To pack means to put your things in a bag or a box when you are going somewhere. For example, if you are going on a trip, you need to pack your clothes, your toiletries, your passport, and anything else you need.
Yes, like when you put your clothes into a suitcase because you are going on holiday. So, can you give us an example dialogue using the word to pack?
Of course, Eric. Here is an example dialogue between 2 friends who are going on a vacation together.
Have you packed your suitcase yet, Mia?
Not yet, Alex. I always pack at the last minute. What about you?
I packed yesterday. I like to be ready early.
That's smart. Can you help me pack?
Of course, Mia. Let's make sure you don't forget anything.
It was a useful example. To pack is used many times in the example.
Yes, it is, Lisa.
Eric, what do you usually pack before you travel?
Well, Lisa, I usually pack light. I don't like to carry too much luggage. I prefer to pack the essentials like a few clothes, a pair of shoes, a jacket, and a hat.
A hat? Why do you pack a hat?
Because I like to protect my head from the sun. And also because hats are cool.
I see. Well, I usually pack more than you. I like to have options, you know. I buy different clothes for different occasions. I also pack some accessories like sunglasses, scarves, and jewelry.
Why do you pack jewelry?
Because I like to look nice and elegant, and also because jewelry is fun.
I see. Well, I guess we have different packing styles, Lisa. As long as we pack what we need and what we like, it's right.
Yes, Eric, there is no right or wrong way to pack. It depends on your travel plans and what you want.
Exactly, Lisa. Okay, let's move on to the next word we want to explain. The second word is to be confident.
To be confident.
To be confident. Lisa, can you explain what to be confident means?
To be confident means to believe in yourself and your abilities. You think you can do something well. For example, if you are confident, you are not afraid to speak in public, to try new things, or to express your opinions.
That's a good explanation, Lisa. So, to be confident is an adjective, right?
Yes, Eric. To be confident is an adjective, and the noun form is confidence. Confidence is the feeling or state of being confident. For example, you can say, I have confidence in myself, or she has a lot of confidence.
I see. So, can you give us an example dialogue using the word to be confident?
Of course, Eric. Here is an example of dialogue.
I'm feeling nervous, teacher. I don't think I'm ready.
Why do you say that, Sam? You have studied hard, and you know the material.
I know, teacher. But I'm afraid I will forget everything, or make a mistake.
Don't worry, Sam. You just need to be confident. You have the skills and the knowledge to do well. You just need to trust yourself, relax, and to be confident.
So, Eric, are you confident before you do something important?
Well, Lisa, it depends on what I have to do. Sometimes I feel confident. Sometimes I feel nervous.
I see. Can you give me an example of when you feel confident and when you feel nervous?
Sure, Lisa. For example, I feel confident when I have to give a presentation at work because I know my topic well and have practiced a lot. But I feel nervous when I have to take a test because I don't know what questions I will get, and I don't like surprises.
I understand, Eric. I think many people feel the same way, but you know, being nervous is not always a bad thing. It can also help you to show good performance.
Really, Lisa? How so?
Well, Eric, when you are nervous, your body produces adrenaline, which is a hormone that gives you energy and alertness. This can help you decrease your stress.
Wow, Lisa, I didn't know that. That's very interesting.
Yes, it is. But of course, you don't want to be too nervous. because that can make you worse. You want to find a balance between being confident and being nervous.
I see, Lisa. And how can I find that balance?
Well, Eric, there are some things you can do. For example, you can prepare well, practice, breathe deeply, and think positively.
Those are some good tips. Thank you for sharing them with me and our viewers.
You're welcome, Eric. I'm happy to help you, and I hope our listeners find them helpful too.
Okay, let's proceed with the next word.
The next word is to be common.
To be common.
To be common. Something that is common is seen, found, or done often. It's not unusual or special because it happens a lot.
Yes, like when many people love the same song, we can say that song is common. Or if it rains a lot in a city, we can say rain is common there.
Of course, Eric. Here is an example of dialogue between two friends.
Have you noticed how many people have smartphones now?
Yes, it's really common to see everyone using them, isn't it? Even my grandma texts me now.
That's funny. It shows how common smartphones have become. It's like everyone has one.
True. It makes it easier to stay in touch with people, which is great.
That dialogue shows how something like smartphones can be common, doesn't it, Eric?
Exactly, Lisa. It's interesting how things become common, because everyone starts to use them or do them.
So, Eric, what do you think are the most common languages in the world?
Well, Lisa, that's a good question. There are many languages spoken by millions of people around the world, but some are more common than others.
I see. Can you name some of them?
Sure, Lisa. According to some sources, the most common languages in the world by number of speakers are Mandarin Chinese, English, Hindi, Spanish, and Arabic.
Wow, that's very interesting. I didn't know that Mandarin Chinese was the most common language in the world.
Yes, Lisa, it is. Mandarin Chinese is spoken by more than 1 billion people, mostly in China, Taiwan, and Singapore.
That's amazing, Eric. And what about English? Where is it spoken?
Well, Lisa, English is spoken by about 900 million people, mostly in the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia. English is also a very important language for business, science, and education.
I see. And what about Arabic? It is interesting to see it in the list of the most common languages.
Well, Arabic is spoken by about 400 million people, mostly in the Middle East and North Africa. Arabic is also the language of Islam and one of the oldest languages in the world.
Wow. That's very fascinating. Thank you for telling me about the most common languages in the world.
You're welcome, Lisa. I'm glad you found it interesting, and I hope our listeners found it interesting too.
Okay, let's move on to the next word, to grow up.
To grow up.
To grow up. What does it mean, Eric?
To grow up means to become older and more mature. For example, when you are a child, you grow up by learning new things, making friends, and having fun. It also means to become older or more mature. It's what happens to everyone as they go from being a child to an adult.
It also means to become older or more mature. It's what happens to everyone as they go from being a child to an adult.
That's right. When we say someone is growing up, we're talking about them getting older, learning new things, and becoming more responsible.
For example, you can say, I want to be a doctor when I grow up.
That's a good example, Lisa. So, to grow up is a phrasal verb, right?
Yes, it is a phrasal verb. Here is an example of dialogue between two friends.
Remember when we used to play on the swings here?
Yeah, we've really grown up since then. Now we're in high school.
It's crazy how fast it happens. I miss being a kid sometimes.
Me too. But growing up is also exciting. We can try new things.
True. I can't wait to learn how to drive soon.
Exactly. Growing up has its fun parts too.
Eric, how do you think growing up changes a person?
Well, Lisa, I think growing up changes a person in many ways. For example, growing up can change a person's appearance, personality, interests, values, and goals.
I see. Can you give me some examples of how growing up can change those things?
Sure, Lisa. For example, growing up can change a person's appearance by making them taller, stronger, or more attractive. Growing up can also change a person's personality by making them more confident, mature, or responsible. And growing up can change a person's interest by making them more curious, adventurous, or creative.
Wow, Eric, that's very interesting. You gave me many examples of how growing up can change a person.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm glad you found it interesting, and I hope our listeners found it interesting too.
Okay, the fifth and our last word is it's not rocket science.
It's not rocket science.
It's not rocket science
It's not rocket science.
is an expression that means something is not very difficult or complicated.
That's a good explanation, Lisa. So, it's not rocket science is an idiom, right?
Yes, Eric. It's not rocket science is an idiom. For example, if you say, it's not rocket science, you mean that anyone can do it or understand it. An idiom is a phrase that has a different meaning from the literal meaning of its words. So that's why its meaning is not related to science. It is about how something is very easy.
I see. So, can you give us an example dialogue using the expression, it's not rocket science?
I can never cook. It seems so hard.
Come on, Ben. It's not rocket science. I'll show you how to make spaghetti. It's really easy.
You think so? I always mess up.
Trust me. Once you learn the steps, you'll see how easy it is.
Cooking in the example is like learning English. I mean, if you study, you can learn English or any language. It's not rocket science.
Absolutely, Lisa. If you study and repeat, you can learn a new language. It's not rocket science.
I hope our podcast helps our viewers and listeners improve their English.
I hope so, Lisa.
And this is the end of our podcast. We hope you enjoyed it and learned some new words.
Yes, Lisa, we do. We also hope you had fun and felt more confident in your English.
Thank you for listening, everyone. We appreciate your support and feedback.
Yes, thank you. And please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Until next time, this is Lisa and Eric. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Eric. We're here to make English easy and fun for you. In each episode, we choose 5 English words and explain them in a very simple way.
That's right, Eric. And we don't just explain, we also give you some useful examples so you can understand how to use these words in real situations.
Absolutely, Lisa. And today, we have 5 words for you. The first word is to be anxious, then to be curious, to mention, and to cope with. And the final one is no pain, no gain.
Okay, the first word on our list today is to be anxious.
To be anxious.
To be anxious. When someone is anxious, they are worried, nervous, or uncomfortable about something because they are not sure what will happen or how the result will be.
That's right, Lisa. It's a common feeling. For instance, you might feel anxious if you're waiting for the results of a medical test, or if you're about to start a new job. The pain you feel in your stomach and your thoughts about what it is shows that you are anxious.
Yes, and it's important to remember that being anxious from time to time is a normal part of life. Everyone feels anxious sometimes. It could be about big things, like moving to a new city, or even small things, like meeting new people.
Absolutely. This is a normal emotion, but there are ways to solve it. Talking about your problems, getting enough rest, or doing things you like can all help you feel less anxious.
Yes, Eric. Let's watch our example dialogue about 2 friends, Mia and Alex, who are sitting in a park.
Alex, I feel really anxious about the test tomorrow.
I understand, Mia. I feel a bit anxious, too. But remember, we've studied a lot, haven't we?
Yes, we have. Something bad could happen, that's what I think.
Let's try to stay positive. We've studied as much as we could, so we're going to do just fine.
That was a good example, Lisa. It showed how you might feel worried about a test.
Yes, Eric, and talking with friends can make you feel less worried. Do you agree?
I do, Lisa. Talking about your problems can be useful to solve them. Have you ever felt anxious like that before, Lisa?
Yes, many times, but preparing and staying positive helps a lot. If I have studied enough, or if I am prepared enough, I do not feel anxious.
Right, Lisa. It is really important to be prepared for everything to feel less anxious.
I agree with Eric. Our listeners should study, or get ready enough so they don't feel stressed or anxious. Okay, let's move on to the next word. The next word is to be curious.
To be curious.
To be curious. What does it mean, Eric?
When you are curious, it means you want to know more about something. You have a lot of questions in your mind because you find something interesting. When you see a new tool or something for the first time, you want to know how it works. That's what it means to be curious. You start to ask questions about something or a place you've never visited.
Yes, and curiosity is a good thing. It's how we learn new things. By being curious, we ask questions, explore, and learn new things that we didn't know before. By the way, curiosity is the noun form of curious.
Exactly, Lisa. It's okay to be curious about many things. It shows you are interested in them, and so you might want to learn and understand the world around you.
Let's have a look at our example dialogue about two colleagues, Ben and Sarah. They are having a chat at the office near the coffee machine.
Ben, have you seen the new coffee machine? It looks so different from the old one.
Yeah, I noticed it this morning. I'm curious about how it works. Do you know?
Not really, but I'm curious too. Maybe it makes coffee faster or has new features.
Let's find out. We can try making a coffee after lunch. I'm curious about the taste too.
Great idea. I'm always curious about trying new things.
That dialogue was perfect, Lisa. It showed how being curious can help us understand something.
Exactly, Eric. And when we're curious, we learn more. For example, Ben and Sarah want to know about the new coffee machine. It's fun to be curious, right?
It is, Lisa. Being curious means you're always ready to learn. I love learning about new things. What about you, Lisa? What are you curious about?
Oh, lots, especially about places I've never visited. I always look at pictures and read about them. It's exciting.
That sounds really fun, Lisa. Curiosity makes everything an adventure. And we should plan a trip together. We can both explore some new places and learn from each other's experiences.
Great idea. Let's do that as soon as possible. Now let's talk about to mention.
To mention.
To mention. To mention means to say something quickly, in a conversation. You don't talk a lot about it. You just say it fast.
Yeah, like when you add a small piece of information while talking. For example, if you're talking about a party and you quickly say, "I'll bring some snacks," you just mentioned, "You'll bring snacks." You said it fast and didn't talk more about it.
To mention is easy. You just say a little information in the conversation. It's like saying, "Oh, I saw a nice bird today," when talking about your day.
Right? Sometimes, after you mention something, you might talk more about it, if the other person wants to.
Yes, Eric. Here is our example dialogue about two friends, Jordan and Taylor, who are walking.
Hey Jordan, while we're talking about movies, did I mention the new film I watched?
No. How was it?
The movie is really exciting, even more than we thought.
Nice. We should watch it again soon.
That was a good story, Lisa. Taylor asked if he said something about the movie he watched. It is a good example of how to mention it.
Yes, Eric. That was a good example to mention.
Have you mentioned anything interesting lately?
Yeah, I mentioned seeing an actress. It was nice to share. She played an actress in a movie I recently watched. She had a great personality, and it was cool to see her.
Wow, that's great. What was the movie about?
It was a very good movie about a woman who moves to a new town and is trying to find a job.
Cool, Lisa. It's nice to mention something small. Can be interesting.
Yes, Eric.
Okay, let's move on to our next word. The next word is to cope with.
To cope with.
To cope with. What does it mean, Lisa?
To cope with means finding a way to deal with it, especially when it's difficult. It's finding ways to be okay when something difficult is happening.
Yes, when you have lots of homework, you cope with it by making a plan. The plan might be to do a little bit every day, so you don't feel too stressed.
Everyone copes differently. Some people might exercise, draw, or talk to friends to feel better when things are tough.
And it's really helpful to have different ways to cope with something difficult. It means you can handle hard times better and not feel so bad.
Okay, let's move on to our example dialogue.
This week has been really hard with all the exams and projects.
I see what you mean. I cope with them by making a to-do list. It helps a lot to do them in time.
That's a good idea. I sometimes take breaks and go for walks. It helps clear my head.
It's good we have different ways to cope with hard times.
That example showed us how Leo and Kim cope with stress.
It is, Lisa. Yes, it's okay that everyone copes with things in their own way. Lisa, what was the last big thing you had to cope with?
When I gave a big presentation, I was really anxious. I coped with it, practicing a lot and talking about my worries with friends. It made me feel a lot better. What about you, Eric? What's something difficult you've coped with recently?
I had to solve a big problem at work. It was really stressful because I had to solve it quickly. I coped with it by making the problem smaller parts and trying to find a solution for each part one at a time. It helped me not to panic and solve the problem more easily.
Making the problem smaller parts seems like a really good way to cope with, Eric. It's easy to cope with its parts instead of the big problem.
Definitely, Lisa.
Okay, Eric, let's talk about our last word, no pain, no gain. It means if you don't work hard or have hard times, you won't get sometimes what you want.
Okay, Lisa. For example, with exercise, maybe you'll feel pain, but it's how you get stronger.
And it's not just about sports, it's about any challenge like learning a new skill. You might have to try very hard, but it helps you get what you want.
Yes, this saying tells us to keep going, even when it's hard. The effort we spend makes us better in the end.
Let's listen to our example dialogue about two friends, Sam and Riley, after jogging.
That run was hard. My legs ache.
But remember, no pain, no gain. It's how we improve.
Yeah, you're right. It's tough, but we will get what we want in the end.
Exactly. We're getting better because of our hard work.
That talk between Sam and Riley really shows what no pain, no gain means. Hard work helps us to improve.
True, Lisa. Working hard makes us better. Lisa, when did you feel no pain, no gain was true for you?
When I first learned to play the guitar, it hurt my fingers. But I kept learning without stopping, and now I can play songs very easily. What about you, Eric?
For me, learning a new language was very hard at times, but practicing a lot helped me learn it well. It really was a no pain, no gain experience.
Great stories, Eric. Facing challenges is how we get better. That's all for today on the Simply Explained English. We talked about being worried, being curious, saying something quickly, dealing with hard times, and working hard to get better.
Yes, Lisa. It's good to remember that hard work always wins.
Yes, and we love to hear from you. Tell us if you liked today's words or if you want us to talk about other things next time.
Thanks for being with us. Remember, learning English can be hard, but also fun. Don't forget, no pain, no gain. We're here to help make it easier for you. See you next time. Keep trying, stay curious, and remember that hard work helps you improve. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.